Top 3 questions I get asked on this channel. What does the load board look like? How do I book loads? And when I book those loads, how do I stay so local? These are the relay rates for Wednesday, September 27th. All right, let's get into it. First thing I want to do is head over to that load board. Had a couple people ask me about the loads that Amazon recommends. Basically, when you first get onto the load board here, before you do any of your saved searches, it'll come up with these recommended loads. It bases it on like your previous bookings. So here it's telling me like Sand 5 up to Riverside, 3 stops, $3.12 a mile for a $3.74 payout. Another exact same load, slightly less. This one leaves at 1:30 in the morning. This one 2:45. That's typically how these go down. I don't really like looking at these recommended because you figure sometimes this might be serving Amazon's interests over my own, and there's been times where I've been looking at these recommended loads and I will see one on there. You know, it's like I won't see one on there, and then I'll go over to like one of my save searches and I'll see that they have a load that I really want that they're not showing me under recommended. So I typically don't go through these. These will break down as far as like, you know, they'll show both 53-foot and 26-foot box truck orders, even though I don't have a 26-foot box truck. Another side note there, people have asked me to include 26-foot box truck orders in these. I will do that. I'm going to put chapters in this video, so if you're looking for 26, that's going to be a little bit later on. You can look down below and look for it in a chapter and skip ahead if you want to get through the 53, but basically 53 is going to be up front. Other thing too is, you know, it's a Wednesday afternoon. If I'm going to show you the load board when things are good, if I'm going to do this ethically, I feel like I'm kind of compelled to show it to you when it may not be good. So I figure a Wednesday afternoon should live down to my expectation. Let's go ahead here and open up my first search. I like this one, Otay to Vista. This is basically everything local here in town. And on a Wednesday afternoon, there are no matches for that. It's basically starting in Otay, going no further than 106 miles. Let's expand that out a little bit and look at Otay going no further than 250 miles. Turn this auto refresh off so I can look at it here. So here's those Sand 5s going up to Riverside, 3 stops. Let's just see what you're doing on these. So they have you going from Otay up to Vista with a loaded trailer, and then going from Vista up to Riverside with an empty trailer. What was that? $3.74 total payout, $3.12 a mile. Probably going to be the same thing with this one, I'm betting. Here's a Sand 5 to Riverside, $2.85 a mile. On these that show, like, you know, this is multiple types of equipment, a container, a trailer. If you want more detail on that, you just click on these. And so from Sand 3 to ONT 5, you're taking a container, and then up at ONT 5, you're dropping off that container and then taking a empty trailer from ONT 5 to ONT 8. So if you see multiple equipment on there, that's what that means. Sand 5 to Riverside, $2.24 a mile, $2.28 a mile. Temecula to San Bernardino, $3.10, but there's 4 stops. Let's see what those stops are. PSP1 to Beaumont to Bloomington to San Bernardino. You got to be aware of those stops. Those stops are going to eat up some time. Sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not. Wednesday afternoon is looking like it's not. Here's a Buena Park for $2.30 a mile. My dog's playing with his toy in the background. San Bernardino, $2.24, $2.24, $2.24. So not a lot of stuff going there, but the bulk of this stuff is going up to like Ontario, San Bernardino area. Let's take a look at backhauls. All right. This is basically looking for everything out of Paris, or within 50 miles of Paris, returning to within 50 miles of San Diego, and there are no matches. You know, nothing really going up there, or stuff going up there, nothing coming back. And then let's take a look at the local work up there. This one is basically starting in Paris, traveling no further than 100 miles. Soonest one, so 5:30. This one starts in like an hour. I mean, you can see this is kind of like a high priority one. If it needs to move, they'll pay for it. They're paying $5.56 a mile to go from Buena Park to Eastvale. $222. I mean, not worth it to drive up there, but if you were up there, that'd be ideal. There's a second one, a third one starting at, so these are at what, 5:33. This is at 6:19. So, you know, if I were up in Buena Park right now, would I go over to Eastvale for $5.56 a mile? Sure, absolutely. And then the next one drops off to $219 in the morning. Not gonna take a load up there, wait till $219 just to make $290 extra. I'd prefer to get a backhaul back to San Diego. So, without anything coming back, if we go back to this first one, you start thinking about, okay, let's sort this by price per mile. $327 a mile for 3 stops to go up there. I mean, you figure, let's call that $400 to go up there. I know that trip is going to take, what was that? That was a loaded trailer to Vista and an empty trailer up to Riverside. That trip is probably going to take about 24 gallons of fuel. Fuel sitting at about $6 a gallon right now. I mean, you're gonna spend about 4.5-5 hours of your time to make about, my math brain isn't with me today, but to make a little bit north of $200, probably not a good night to work. Let's get into those 26-foot box truck orders now. My hesitation in doing this is because I don't run a box truck, I don't know, I kind of can't really offer like any commentary on this. I mean, I don't know. The first thing I'd want to know if I had a box truck was this. All these start at like Amazon facilities, so you can see that, like, oh wait, this has me still up in San Bernardino. Let's change this to San Diego. But I said San Diego box trucks, SD box truck. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, so here's a, one pick, one stop, going from San 5 to Murrieta. What you'll find with all of these are all, like, if you take this address, I'm not familiar with this address. We throw this into like Google Maps, I'll bet you this is a post office. Let's see here, allow paste. Let's go. And yep, there it is. It's a post office. What you'll find is these are always picking up at an Amazon facility, ending up at either one or multiple post office locations. What I would want to know if I had a box truck is like, which one of these sites are like better than others? I mean, there has to be, maybe one of these post office has like limited dock doors. Maybe there's somebody who works there who likes to make truckers wait because they can. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. I would want to know, like, where are good places to go, where are places to avoid. And being that I don't operate this equipment, I kind of can't really offer much insight into it, but let's just get into the rates here. $253 total payout to Murrieta right now. San Diego to Hemet for $290.96, 3 stops. Stopping in Carlsbad, ending up in Hemet. San Diego to Valley Center for $237 a mile. Going to Murrieta and then over to Valley Center. San Diego to Imperial, here's a one pick, one stop, but keep in mind, $276, now you're in Imperial, you got to get home. Same thing with Calexico. I mean, there's not really many loads picking up El Centro, Calexico, Imperial coming back this way. So it's $280 worth it to drive out there, and then assuming you're going to come back empty, probably not. Paris. Now, let's say you don't want to do these multi-stop trips. You do have the option in here to say, I want to look for stops that are, like, it defaults to stops max 3. Let's say if I just want to go to places that are just one pick, one stop. Let's take a look at those. And that reduces the field down to only 8 results. So San Diego to Murrieta for $333 a mile. San Diego to Imperial for $221 a mile. To Calexico, $215. To La Quinta, $2 a mile. Palm Desert, $211. Out to Calexico over on Saturday for $211 a mile. Out to Palm Desert for $1.71 a mile. And then La Quinta for $1.94. Let's just see, like, let's change this to La Quinta and see if there's any loads out there. La Quinta, California. Yeah, see, and okay, let's sort this by deadhead shortest. The closest load to La Quinta is going to be picking up in Beaumont, so you're going to have 45 miles to drive. If you could get one of these to line up, you're going to have 45 miles to drive deadhead to just pick up your next load, and that's going to put you in Vegas. So anyway, I mean, I wish I had more to offer on these 26-foot box truck orders, but just wanted to add it for completeness.